Congress just voted and passed the bill. I have all the details and what this means going forward right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now just moments ago, the House of Representatives held a vote on the highly anticipated debt ceiling bill that we've been talking about for many months now and which was just finalized this past weekend between the president and Kevin McCarthy. Now, over the last couple of days here, we've been hearing a lot of opposition out of lawmakers from both sides of the aisle suggesting they don't know if they have enough support to bring up all the necessary votes to actually get this thing through the House, to bring it through the Senate, and of course bring it onto the president's desk for the final signature, turning it into law and avoiding a potential default right here in this country, which is coming on Monday, according to the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen. So we are literally right down to the wire, according to Janet Yellen, and how much money they have left in the coffers of the Treasury, which as of right now is not very much, right? Last week, it was at $49 billion. As of right now, we're probably sitting at about $25 to maybe $30 billion at most as of right now. So we're really scraping the bottom here on the amount of money that the Treasury has right now to pay all the bills for the federal government. However, is it over as of right now? No, it's not over at all. This is hurdle number one. We have a couple more hurdles to pass here, which is the Senate. The Senate comes next, right? So yes, it did pass through the House of Representatives. Now they're queuing up a vote in the Senate, possibly as early as tomorrow or Friday. That's, very, very close to the wire here, considering Monday is the day in which the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, said we're out of cash on that day. We're bringing this thing right down to the very wire here when it comes down to it. And then, of course, after it passes through the Senate, provided it does, then it needs to go to the president's desk to get a signature. That takes a little bit of time as well. So you can clearly see the process here. It's a very long, drawn-out process. Takes a while now, but this is what's actually going on here. So, number one, we passed it through the House of Representatives. Now, I want to point out something else that's interesting as well. Yesterday, we got a new proposal out of Rand Paul, who introduced a $500 billion increase to the debt ceiling, which basically, as of right now, the one that they're currently passing through, or the one that just passed through the House, is multi-trillions of dollars, okay? Now, this one that was just introduced yesterday by Representative Paul is raising it by $500 billion, okay? So as a result of that, what are their whole plan with that? Now, obviously, this one did not pass through, but the whole idea here would be to raise the debt ceiling for just a short amount of time to make sure that Congress has a little bit more time to get their work done. I guess my question would be, why didn't they do it in the first place? If they need to extend it longer and get more time here, what is this going to solve? All it's going to do is just kick the can down the road and give them more time to stall on this thing and virtually do nothing about it. Yet again, they've had all the time in the world, so why would an extra $500 billion or a little extension of this thing do anything to actually coming together on an agreement, right? You kind of get what I'm saying here. So I don't really think that actually extending this thing out by $500 billion and lifting the debt ceiling by $500 billion and pushing this thing out another, say, 3 months or something like that is really going to bring us up and actually do anything about this, as in, bring us up with the actual solution. So anyway, long story short, passed through the House of Representatives. Now, if you saw my video from a few hours ago, earlier this morning, the last video that I posted out this morning, I was talking about in there because there's many of you here in the community that have been worried about your monthly checks coming in, right? Are you going to get your monthly checks? Is this something we need to be worried about? I see the questions, I see the concerns down below as of right now. Now, here's what else is interesting about that, which, by the way, if you didn't see that video from earlier, I would highly recommend going back and checking that out. I discussed all the details about that and what you need to know right now because I see a lot of concerns down below in the comment section. But here's what it comes down to. I want to point this out as well. Over the last couple of days here, we've heard out of some lawmakers that said, even if we do not come together on a debt ceiling bill, as in we don't do something about this, we still will not default in this country. So essentially, they're working on something else behind the scenes, a backup plan, right? So if they don't come together on this bill here, they have a backup plan where they're not going to have us go into a default. So we've been saying this for a very long time now, okay? If you've been watching the videos here on the channel, I've been saying this for many months now. Don't worry about it. They're going to drag this thing out to the very last minute. They're going to cause a ton of drama about it. They're going to, kick and scream and act like, oh my, the sky is falling, and, this is the end of the country and stuff like this. It's not. We've never defaulted here before. We're probably never going to default at least this time we're not. Maybe at some point in the future we will. Who knows? But it's probably not going to happen right now, okay? just because it would destroy the credit rating of this country, which as of right now, we have a AAA credit rating, as in our credit rating here is very high. When it comes down to it, just like our personal credit scores, we all have a credit score. We all probably have an idea of what it really is, right? But basically, the credit rating of the United States is basically the same thing. The credit rating or the credit score for the entire country. Do other countries and do people want to borrow to us, right? Well, that's what it comes down to, okay? If we have a low credit score, guess what? We pay higher interest rates and it's harder to secure loans and for people to actually believe in us, right? We all know how that goes. For us personally, if you have a low credit score, we know who we are, right? It's not that easy obtaining things when you have a low credit score. I know. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, right? By the way, anything lower than about 650, 600, something like that, it gets kind of tough, right? If you're in that boat, you know what I'm talking about, right? It gets kind of hard to borrow money because, you can do it, but all of a sudden they say, hey, we're going to charge you more interest because, your credit rating isn't as high. So anyway, interesting stuff. We can talk about that in greater detail in other videos, but this is what it comes down to. And as of right now, the House of Representatives just passed this one bill right now. But again, we'll have to see what happens here in the Senate. Now, they've been talking about, oh yeah, we'll bring it to the Senate here tomorrow, possibly Friday, something like that. Now, obviously, it could be sooner, it could be later, but this is what they're talking about as of right now. They don't have a whole lot of time when it comes down to it. And then it's going to take another day or so for the president to sign it. That's how it usually is. So I would not be shocked at all if the president signs this thing into law on Sunday. Okay, that's my prediction as of right now. Let's see if I'm right. Again, I'm not sure. I don't really know for sure. I'm just saying, I would not be shocked one bit just to stir the pot and to get some little bit of extra attention, because you know how politicians love to get attention, right? They're desperate for attention. It's like super sad how they're like, so desperate for attention. But anyway, this is what they do. Wouldn't be shocked at all if the president signs it on Sunday just to rattle the cage and make it a little bit more dramatic. Anyway, this is what we have for you as of right now. Of course, as I get more information, hot off the wire as it's being released, of course, I'll be right here for you breaking it all down. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Check out that other video from earlier today, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day. I'm here for you in any way that I can be. Have a good one, and catch you again later in the next video. They don't have a whole lot of time when it comes down to it. And then it's going to take another day or so for the president to sign it. That's how it usually is. So I would not be shocked at all if the president signs this thing into law on Sunday. Okay, that's my prediction as of right now. Let's see if I'm right. Again, I'm not sure. I don't really know for sure. I'm just saying, I would not be shocked one bit just to stir the pot and to get some little bit of extra attention, because you know how politicians love to get attention, right? They're desperate for attention. It's like super sad how they're like, so desperate for attention. But anyway, this is what they do. Wouldn't be shocked at all if the president signs it on Sunday just to rattle the cage and make it a little bit more dramatic. Anyway, this is what we have for you as of right now. Of course, as I get more information, hot off the wire as it's being released, of course, I'll be right here for you breaking it all down. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Check out that other video from earlier today, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos.